Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you to both ministers for your very clear and I would say frank testimony here today. My first question is for Minister Anand. Minister Anand, I want to get a sense of the scale of what your ministry has been required to do. And so, if we could just turn to the beginning of the pandemic when procurement of personal protective equipment was probably on everyone's mind. Could you just go through? You gave us a few numbers, but give us a sense of the scale. What was required? How many different product lines? And also the type of investment that was required to be made in those early days.
Well, thank you for the question. And I would like to say at the outset that we were faced at PSPC with a challenge to procure um, a number of items of PPE on behalf of the Public Health Agency of Canada in March. And this was required on an urgent basis when the country needed these items. And we moved very quickly to implement long-term contracts so that we could prepare for any eventuality in this pandemic, including a second phase, which we saw. And what we did was to procure over 2.7 billion items of PPE, and we were able to provide that equipment to the Public Health Agency for distribution to frontline healthcare workers across this country. Over 1.4 billion items of that PPE has been delivered. Face shields, gloves, gowns, surgical masks, N95 masks. So that was a massive procurement effort. And I don't want that to go unnoticed because our public servants worked incredibly hard to provide for Canadians. At the same time, there were additional procurements that were needed. For example, rapid test kits. And we moved very quickly to purchase over 40 million rapid test kits for Canadians and distribute those to provinces and territories. Nearly 15.5 million have been delivered to date, and that number is increasing. In addition to that, we then moved to procure vaccines under 7 APAs and put those contracts in place in very rapid succession after we received the advice of the Vaccine Task Force and the Public Health Agency of Canada. And we put those contracts in place, and now we are seeing deliveries into this country, which will rapidly increase as we go through the next weeks and months. That strategy was one of aggressive action and forceful conduct at the bargaining table, and I'm very honored to be on the team that brought that to the fore. By the same token, we are also in charge of ensuring that the supplies and the logistics systems are in place. So count this, the PPE, the rapid test kits, the vaccine procurement contracts, and a logistics system that works end to end so that we can support the delivery of supplies across this country, including vaccine supplies. So, for example, we purchased freezers, a total of 446 deep freeze and ultra deep freezers, gauze, bandages, alcohol swabs, sharp containers, fill and finish machines, all to be utilized in the vaccine procurement and distribution effort. And those supplies are being delivered to the provinces every day because we are in this together. We need to be collaborative. We need to work cooperatively. And that's exactly what I talk to my team about every day. We are working for Canadians to make sure that we are supported as a country through this pandemic.
Thank you very much, Minister Anand. And actually, you didn't mention one particular product, ventilators. And I believe that there was an excellent response from from domestic manufacturers in that area as well. Do you recall any details of those contracts?
Well, I'll start and I will ask Francois Philippe if he would like to join in. Of course, I believe his department led a competition for the selection of vaccine manufacturers. And once that selection occurred and the ventilator suppliers, sorry, were chosen, then our department supported those choices and executed contracts. In total, we ordered over 40,000 ventilators, and we have received over 22,000 of those ventilators already. And that has been an incredible made in Canada effort to ensure that we have domestic supply of PPE, including ventilators. And now, of all of our contracts for domestic manufacturing and PPE, we have over 40% are with domestic companies.